呪術廻戦
All right, let's read chapter 244 of Jujutsu Kaisen. We are back to the Kessen, the decisive battle, part 16, Jingai Makyo Shinjuku Kessen, the decisive battle in the, the demon uninhabited lands of Shinjuku. So, spoiler, the previous chapter ended with this happening. Go check that out. And we appear to be back here now with the battle with Sukuna. A bunch of folks had descended, and we had paused to go and see the Takaba thing. So there's, what's his name, Higuruma, Itadori, and Sukuna. And we go immediately into a flashback. Now, this is lots of talking. Lots of talking. It's like at least 8 pages of heavy dialogue. So buckle in. This is a flashback. This is them, I guess, having come up with a plan or some sort of thing on how to deal with Sukuna. All right. Kenjaku no hou wa takaba de suki o tsukuri okotsu de sasu. All right. So as for the direction of Kenjaku, so for Kenjaku, using Takaba, that's the comedian, creating gaps and using okotsu will slice, will stab. So use Takaba to create a gap and we'll slice with okotsu. So that's pretty much how that whole series ended that we just wrapped up. And he continues, Jouken wa gojo ga maketa bai, sore ga kakutei shita taimingu de. Okay, so as for the condition, or as for the circumstances, Gojo failed or lost case, that thing having done like certain timing. Kakute is, decision or settlement. So with timing that has done decision or settlement of that thing, meaning in the case that Gojo has lost, demo kore maji de okotsu no tombo gaeri hisu dakara na tanomu zo maji de. Okay, but with this, seriously, truly, honestly, Okotsu's tombo guy. Okay, a tombo guy is to somersault, but it also means to return from a destination right after arriving there. Basically a non-stop trip, whatever. So with this, seriously, truly, Okotsu's non-stop trip is like critical. Hisu. Yeah, indispensable, required. You know, like we really are relying on this seriously. Tanomu zo majide. Like, seriously, we are relying on this. Okay, yeah, so he's basically understanding that Okotsu really needs to be in the battle with Sukuna, but they do need Okotsu to finish off Kenjaku. So this idea that he really seriously needs to just basically go there, take care of that, come right back. Mondai no... I guess this is still him talking. Mondai no Sukuna sen da ga. It's the problem, the issue of the Sukuna battle. But, Souryoku sen to waiie, mazu wa dare ga sanka suru ka kimen ne to na. Okay. As for, like, you can call it an all-out battle. The problem is the Sukuna battle, the war with Sukuna. You can call it an all-out battle. Answer first, who will doing success, not being decided, right? Oh, no, success, participate. Answer first, who will be participating if we don't succeed? Or basically, we need to decide who's going to participate in the battle with Sukuna. Even though it's an all-out battle, they got to, I guess, like pick who's actually going to fight in the battle. And Kimene Tolna, again, this is probably like an implied double negative. Like Kimenai naranai or whatever. Koitsura aho ka? Okay, this is what's his name? Kashimo saying like these guys, are they idiots? Soryoku sen nan dakara zenin daro mazu wa ore da ga. Because it's an all-out battle, it's all hands, it's all personnel, right? As for first, it's me. I'm first. Okay. Suki mo tsukure ne 100%, no, 100% 瞬殺されるやつ前線に出して何の意味があんだよ。意味があんだよ。All right, so even a gap not creating 100% instant kill being done person putting out on the front line meaning doesn't exist. So there's no point, there's no meaning in putting out someone on the front line, a guy that's going to get killed instantaneously 100% without even creating an opening or a gap. So I think that's mostly self-explanatory. You're just not going to put someone out there to just get smushed immediately without them doing anything effective. Tatoeba uchi no miwa. For example, our group's miwa. So like, yeah, we wouldn't put her out there. Okay. Somosomo jutsuryoku busoku na ue Shibuya de Kongo katana o furuwanai shibari o mizukara ni kashita. Okay. Kasu. With that verb, to inflict or to impose. Okay. Interesting. Originally from the start. Yeah, so in the first place, somo. In the first place, like true strength is insufficient. And on top of that, in addition to true strength not being sufficient, in Shibuya, imposed on oneself a binding vow of next time will not swing sword. So he's explaining why they wouldn't put everyone out there. It's not an all-out battle. So explaining why Miwa is not going to join the fight. I don't know that we saw this, but apparently she imposed upon herself a binding vow, a binding that, again, like from here on, will not swing sword. And she did that in Shibuya. Probably we saw that, I just don't remember. Sono hito furi mo sude de fusegareta tan desu kedo ne. Tahahaha. So then she's saying that even that hito furi, that one swing, the one swing of her sword, even that one swing with bare hands was blocked, it is, you know. Okay, so she did swing her sword once, but Geto blocked it, I guess. Geto or, yeah, she was fighting Geto, right? And so she laughs. Okay, there's our assemblage of people We could go through all of them, but I will not bother. Find your favorite. Tengen sama to Nihon ni iru ningen no chouchou fukudo wa jutsushi de areba juryoku de kyosetsu dekiru to omou. Okay. As for the, how are we translating this? The super overlapping change of humans existing in Japan with Lord Tengen. So basically, as for that merger of the humans, and they're now calling it the Chouchou Fukudoka. Again, like super duplication, repetition, restoration, transformation, change. As for that, with sorcery, or if a sorcerer exists with cursed energy, rejection being possible, think. So I think it ought to be possible to reject using cursed energy if a sorcerer exists, this merger. Okay. Oh, meaning like if the merger is going on, they can stave off so they don't get sucked into the merger. Not that they can stop the entire merger. I think that's what that means. Sukuna to Kenjaku ga kachinokotte doka de umareta Bakemon ga sekai juu o mechakucha ni shite mo ikinokoru kanosei wa zero janai. Okay. All right, I will have to look up doka. Yeah, assimilation. Okay. The monster born through the absorption or assimilation of the winning remaining of Sukuna and Kenjaku. Okay. Kachi. Oh, I guess this could be like survivors. Kachi nokoru. Yeah, winning and advancing to the right. Okay, so Sukuna and Kenjaku, through the absorption of winning and advancing to the next round, the monster that's born through absorption and winning to the next round and advancing to the next round. Okay. Even doing crazy throughout the world, even if that happens, as for the surviving possibility, it isn't zero. Okay. This is about the monster. The monster that's born through the absorption of winning and advancing to the next round. As for the possibility of survivors, okay. As for the possibility of there being survivors from all this, it isn't zero. Meaning there will likely be some survivors that don't get absorbed in, and even if it causes like mucha kucha throughout the whole world, which is mucha kucha is like craziness. So the monster, even if it does craziness throughout the whole world, as for the possibility of survivors, it isn't zero, and the monster that is born through all that. Now, I don't know why Sukuna and Kenjaku there, but anyway. Ma player ni natteru yatsu wa Kenjaku ga ikinokoreba mazu korosareru ga. Well, as for people that have become players, Kenjaku, if surviving, first will be killed. Okay. So as for people that become players, meaning in the game, they'll be killed first by Kenjaku. Kenjaku will kill those if there are survivors. No. I guess that's Kenjaku if he survives. First, they will be killed. As for the people that, yeah, okay. This is just the first page. That was just the first page. それでも数日は長生きできる. Even so, as for the number of days, it's possible that it's like long. Like living a long time. Yeah. Like even so, as for the number of days, it's possible that it's living a long time. Okay. Meaning, I guess, like, this all isn't going to go away just in an instant. This, again, this is before the battle between Gojo and Sukuna even starts. So, I guess that's what that means. Like, this could be going on for several days. Sukuna dake kachi no koreba motto na. Only Sukuna, if winning and surviving, all the more. Yeah, okay. So, if only Sukuna wins and survives, all the more that this could go on for several days. Sumanae ga watashi wa oriru. Yaku ni tate sou mo nai kara na. Okay, so sorry, but as for me, will descend, which I guess this means like I'm out of here. I'm descending. I'm leaving. Even seeming to be useful doesn't exist because, you know, basically, like, it doesn't seem like it can be useful. Is that what's his name? The bow and arrow dude? Or is that, I can't tell. Anyway. 少しでも家族をそばで見守りたい. Even a little bit want to watch over by the side of my family. Watch over and protect. Mimamori. Yeah, to watch over at the side of my family even a little bit. And wanting to do that. Okay. これから家族を連れて海外に逃げるつもりだ. From here, taking the family and overseas fleeing intent it is. Okay, so from here, it's the intent to flee overseas, taking my family. 本当に, seriously, I'm serious. And then someone else is saying like, いいって. You're like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's good. いちいち言わなくていい. I guess like bit by bit, one by one, if not saying is good. Meaning like you don't need to explain in detail. You don't need to go through bit by bit. 公開処刑じゃねえんだから. Public execution it isn't because. So yeah, you don't need to explain. You don't need to speak bit by bit. This is not a public execution. この戦いは役に立てるやつの方がおかしいっちゅう話だ. As for this battle, as for this war, the direction of people being useful, okashi teyu hanashi da. It's a story called okashi, regrettable for the direction of people that are useful. Yaku ni tateru. Yeah, to be helpful, to be useful. The direction of people that are helpful. As for in this fight, it's okashi. That's the story. Okashi is strange, amusing, improper. この戦いはおかしいちゅう話だ. We're talking about a thing called strangeness, amusing, comical, the direction of people that are useful, as for in this fight. Okay. 俺は先輩にいろいろと教えてもらえて助かってるよ. As for me, by senpai, so that's his senpai, his superior, his elder, various things, receiving teaching, like it's being saved. I'm grateful. Grateful for receiving teaching, various teachings from senpai. Presumably this is like him saying farewell. 長宗は教えるの下手だから. Oh, okay. That's Itadori saying that to this guy. Like, thanks for all the things you taught me, senpai, or whatever. It really helped out, receiving teachings from various things from senpai. And then he's saying, as for choso, teaching things are poor. Like, this is either choso's bad at teaching or the things that I learned from him are poor. Soka, I see. Hanten jutsu shiki ga tsukaeru yatsu. People able to use, or I guess reverse technique, people able to use, 死にたがってるやつ、死んでもいいって思ってるやつ、それ以外は不参加か、サポートだ。It's support. So reverse technique, able to use people, and people, I guess, like wanting to die. People wanting to die, and even if dying, it's fine. Thinking people. As for outside of that, not participating, it's support. Okay, so basically, if you're one of these three, if you are able to use reverse technique, if you want to die, or even if you die, or even if you think that it's fine if I die, you'll be in the battle. As for outside of that, non-participants, you're supporting. It's support. Kashimo no ato wa ore ga deru. Okay, so Higuruma raises his hand and says, as for after Kashimo, I'm the one that will go out. So I'll be up next after Kashimo. Okay, Itadori just looks. Ore no jutsushiki de sukuna no jutsushiki o boshu suru. With my technique, we'll do boshu of the technique of sukuna. Boshu is seize, forfeit, confiscate. All right. Ore no make o zente ni hanashi o susumen no mukatsuite kita. Okay. So my loss, zente, like deciding beforehand. Yeah, assumption, preamble, premise. In that way, advancing a story, proceeding, advancing a story, meaning like he's talking, moving ahead with the assumption of my loss. Mukatsuku. Oh, mukatsuite kita. I guess actually this is like, that's making me angry. I'm offended. I'm offended of a story that's advancing with the assumption of my loss. Karida. Kari in this case is like, what? It depends. Yeah, temporary. Provisional. It's provisional. Gojo-san ni junban yuzutte kurete kansha shiteru. To Mr. Gojo, turn order, bestowing, doing the favor, doing gratitude. Yeah, we're grateful. We're doing gratitude that you have done the favor of like granting, bestowing, handing over the turn order to Mr. Gojo. Mada nattoku shite ne yo. Oh, this is Kashimo. Like, it's still not understanding or still not agreeing. Nattoku. I still don't agree with it. Yeah. Shike ga torereba shokenin no is that tsurugi de sukuna to tatakaeru. Okay, so the death sentence if I'm able to take or get a death sentence, meaning in the trial, then using the sword of the executioner will be able to fight with Sukuna. So we saw that when he fought with Itadori. If he wins, he gets death sentence, he gets to fight with this super powerful blade. Ichigeki Hisatsu no Tsurugi ka? A blade of one hit certain kill? Sore wa maji de arigate ga? Boshu mo shike mo kakujitsu ni toreru wake janai daro. Okay. As for that, a sword that's able to kill in one certain kill with one blow. As for that, seriously, that would be great. Arigatai. It would be gratitude. It would be good. Even the confiscation, even death sentence, truthfully, if able to take, reason not existing, right? So basically he's saying there's truly no reason that you would be able to take either of those things though, right? Like there's no guarantee that would happen. Okay. Judgment ga Sukuna no dono zaijo o toriageru ka ni yori, soko wa higuruma ni mo erabenai te koto de ii en da yo ne. Okay. Judge Man, so this is now Itadori explaining. Judge Man, Sukuna's dono zaijo. Oh, dono is like which. Charges. Zaijo is charges, nature of offense. Yeah, so depending on Judge Man bringing up which charges of Sukuna, as for that place, as for where that lands, also to Higuruma not able to choose or not choosing event that's good, right? Yeah. Okay, so he's asking a question of Higuruma, saying, yeah, even to Higuruma, not able to choose event that's good, right? I guess like basically it's right that you're not able to choose even yourself, like what those charges are. It's Judge Man. Judge Man is the one that brings up the charges, and Higuruma says yes. Okay. 俺とスクナが入れ替わったのは高校少年院渋谷の3階. Okay, so me and Sukuna and I, as for exchanging, high school, the like youth center, and Shibuya 3 times. So he's listing off the 3 times that they've like switched. Sono uchi Shonen nin to Shibuya de wa kanari no shisha ga deteru shi. Among those 3 times, As for in Shibuya and the youth center, very many dead people came out. Okay, so a lot of people came out in those two incidents. Fushiguro ni utsutte kara ima made sore kara Shinjuku de mo suki katte yaru daro. In Fushiguro transmitting after that, up until now, so now he's saying like the time that Sukuna has been in Fushiguro from the time that he transferred up until now. From there, even Shinjuku, I guess like you can do as you please. Suki katte yaru daro, right? Suki. Yeah, doing as you please. So basically, you can do whatever you want if it's even in Shinjuku for this period with Fushiguro. Kiso naiyo ga kanari shibarareru kara kekkou na kakuritsu de shike made ikeru zaijou wo hikeru n ja ne ka? Shoujiki kibishii na. Okay. Kiso naiyo. Kiso here is prosecution contents. Prosecution contents very much being squeezed. Because of that, splendidly kakuritsu. Oh, like with a great probability, even a death sentence, being able to go, conditions, nature of crime, able to pull, isn't it that? Okay, so I guess Itadori is basically saying, with all the stuff that's happened, that the prosecution contents, there should be a high probability of being able to get a death sentence with the charges. You should be able to pull that, right? And then I guess this is Higuruma saying, like, speaking frankly, shojiki, it's difficult, it's harsh. Kibishii na. So now I guess Higuruma is going to explain why it's kibishii, why it's difficult, strict, to try to get the death sentence. Imamade no Sukuna no jouhou o matomeru to. When considering the information of Sukuna up until now. Yeah, when putting together, or if putting together the information of Sukuna up until now, Itadori no ita koko de no Sukuna no koi wa. As for the actions of Sukuna in the high school where Itadori was, Itadori ni taisuru shogai, nikutai no notori, Gojo Satoru ni taisuru satsujin misui. Okay. Misui. Attempted crime. Okay, so again, like, he's putting together the information he knows about Sukuna up until now. And the actions of Sukuna in the high school while he was in Itadori. Or the high school that Itadori was in. Damage like against Itadori. So like doing damage against Itadori, that's what Sukuna did. And like, I guess like taking over the physical body. And by Gojo Satoru, or going against Gojo Satoru, an attempt at murder, attempt at assassinating against Gojo Satoru. So these are the different points. Shonenin dewa, as for in the youth facility. So now these are the different points he knows These are the likely crimes that Sukuna could be tried against, I guess. Itadori ni taisuru satsujin kisui. Sore wa... Okay, so as for the youth center, murder kisui already accomplished. Against Itadori. So he murdered Itadori. He got better. And これは Itadori が生き返ってるから未遂かもな。And as for this, as for the murder of Itadori coming back to life after that, or because of coming back to life, it's an attempt at the crime, probably. Okay, so he's saying, like, he did accomplish the murder of Itadori, but this, because Itadori came back to life, it would probably be an attempt at murder. Probably. Fushiguro Megumi ni taisuru satsujin misui, and then an attempt of murder against Fushiguro. Shibuya dewa, as for in Shibuya, Jusoshi no joshi kousei futari ni taisuru satsujin kisui. As for in Shibuya, the accomplished murder against 2 high school girl students of sorcery. So, or cursed users. This is the girls with the phone and the ones that were the ghetto fan club. So he murdered them. Shimin tasue no satsujin kisui, accomplished murder towards many numbers of city residents. Okay, and then Saidoteru no Jusoshie no Satsujin Kisui. Side tail. Side tail. Accomplished murder of the cursed user, the sorcerer of the side tail. The English went with pigtail. So like some sorcerer with their hair and pigtails. Who was that? I'm blanking. All right. Anyway, another murder. And then Genju Kenzo Butsuho Ka. Residential inhabited buildings, Genju, like present occupation building, Genju Kenzobutsu, and Hoka is going to just be arson. Arson of inhabited buildings. Yeah, setting fire to arson. So those would be the crimes in Shibuya, or potential crimes. All right, we're only halfway through the... Oh my gosh. そして、Fushiguro Megumi no Nikutai no Notorida ga. And in addition, the possession of the physical body of Fushiguro Megumi, but Fushiguro Megumi no Joutai shidai de wa Shougai Satsujin Kisui Shitai Ryo Tokuzai nado ga kangaerareru. Okay. So that's another potential one. But Fushiguro's, as for dependent upon the condition of Fushiguro, harm, wounding, or already committed murder, corpse Shitai Ryo Tokuzai. Theft crime? Corpse theft crime? Or yeah, it's I guess corpse theft crime. And things like that, able to think about. All right, so those are the possible crimes he's able to think about there. Shounenin wa motto hidokatta zo. As for the youth center, all the more horrible. It was all the more horrible. So it was more horrible. Sukuna no yubi, the finger of Sukuna. Jubutsu ni yoru higai de wa Sukuna wo tsumi ni to no wa muzukashii na. Okay, Sukuna's fingers. As for with damage due to cursed objects, towards crimes or sins of Sukuna, as for a problem, it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult problem to charge crimes to Sukuna for damage like due to cursed objects, meaning his fingers. Kansetsu teki ni wa Sukuna no seidei ga kansetsu, is that indirectly? Yeah, indirectly. As for indirectly, it's the fault of Sukuna, meaning the fingers. Kare ga kyosa hojo o shiteru wake janai. He, meaning Sukuna, kyosa, instigation, reason it isn't. So it's not like he did instigation or hojo, assistance. Okay, so he's not like directly involved in damage that the fingers caused. He's like indirectly responsible, at fault. 同じ理由で吉野純兵衛の母の剣も難しいだろう。Through the same reason, or for the same reasons, also the incident of the mother of Junbei, it's difficult, right? So for the same, go back way back to see what that's about. So Itadori is sad, but like, okay. Basically he's saying like, well, the finger killed her or whatever. So there you go. 殺人罪の量刑相場しとして一人殺したら懲役15年. Okay, so murder crimes, 量刑相場. Okay, 量刑 is a judge's sentence. And the soba, the market price, speculation, the reputation. Okay, so I guess this is a way to say like, if you're considering like the market price for the judge's sentence for the crime of murder, basically what's the going penalty, the going punishment? If you kill one person, I guess that's like approximately, it's 10 to 15 years. Chōeki. No, penal servitude. It's penal servitude of 10 to 15 years if you kill one person. 二人殺したら無期懲役や死刑. If you kill two people, it's like no time. Oh, no, like forever penal servitude and death sentence. 三人以上殺せば基本的に死刑だ. If kill 3 or more people, fundamentally it's death penalty. Okay. 宿儺の行為は残虐で身勝手社会的影響も重大な上、構成させるのは不可能だ。Okay. As for the actions or deeds of Sukuna, they are tyrannical and selfish, and society impacts also are like massive. And in addition, as for kosei being done, it's not possible. Kosei. Justice, no. Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation being done, as for that, that's impossible. Okay. Let me just double check. Zangyaku. That gyaku means tyranny, so yeah, cruelty, brutality. So Sukuna's actions are brutal. And again, migate is kind of like serving oneself or just, yeah, selfish ego. And yeah, impacts on society are massive. And in addition to that, okay. Nagayama Kijun to terashi awasete mo ma shike da. Futsu no saiban nara na. Okay. The Nagayama Kijun standard. With the Nagayama standard, even if due illumination, terashi, oh, to compare or check. Even if we check or compare with the Nagayama Kijun, well, it's death sentence. Okay, so there's some other sort of like consideration, and he says it's still death sentence. If it's normal judgment, if it's a normal judgment, and this is I guess Miwa or someone going like Nagayama, like what's that Nagayama? Naruhodo, I see now. Kusakabe-san, わかったんですか? わかったふりでしょ? Okay. Like Mr. Kusakabe, that's him. Like you understood that? Understood it is? You're understood pretending, right? You're pretending to understand, right? お前基本俺を舐めてるよな. So that's Miwa saying that about him. And he is responding, you fundamentally, basically, are like mocking me or underestimating me, aren't you? 普通の裁判なら、すべての罪状をひっくりめて、少なは死刑だよ. Okay, so he responds and says, if it's a normal judgment, if it's a judgment of normal, or a trial of a normal trial, all of the crime conditions, hikurumete, hey, thank you for the follow. Lumping together, if include or lump together all of the crime conditions, as for Sukuna, it's death sentence. So basically, for a normal trial, if you put together all these crime things, for Sukuna, it's going to be death penalty. Demo, however, Higuruma no Jutsushiki, the technique of Higuruma, judgment wa hitotsu hitotsu no zaijo o toriagete kiso suru. As for Judge Man, does prosecution We already saw that. Does prosecution of like each individual crime. Again, Zaijo was that charges or nature of offense. Brings up each crime like separately, individually. That's what Judge Man does. So kind of doing a comparison here, right? If you take them all together, it's death penalty, but Judge Man does things individually. Hey, Lil Van 10, how's it going? Thank you for the follow. 今あげた罪状だからだけなら3割弱で死刑までいけるかもな。Okay. 今あげた。Like now the given crimes, just that if it's that, like a weak 30%, with a weak 30% up until death penalty able to go, probably. Okay, yeah. He's basically saying like if you take those individually, if it's just the crime, then he's giving it a weak 30% for being able to get a death penalty. Okay, I think this is the last. No, we still got like 4 more pages here before we just get some more crap here. だが問題は本来は重い罪に吸収される細かい罪だ。Okay. However, as for the problem, as for the future? No. Originally, essentially by nature, to heavy crime, absorption being done, narrow crime. Okay, as for the problem, it's narrow crime that, like, absorption is done into heavy crime or big crime. Miwa's like, huh? Okay. So we're going to get an explanation, I guess. Tatoeba, for example, hito o saseba,傷害罪や殺人未遂に問われるが。Okay, for example, if stab a person, wounding crime and attempted murder able to say or able to charge. But, 同時に at the same time, 服も破れるわけだから、because you're able to say it's also this destruction of the clothes, 厳密に言えば器物損害罪も含まれる。Why did it just genmitsu ni? Like strictly? Yeah, strictly, if speak strictly, like object damage crime also able to include. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so if you stab someone, right, it's these things. It's wounding someone and attempted murder. But strictly speaking, you can also include like object damage. Songaizai, that crime. Hey, well, welcome on in. We're more at kind of like an intermediate level, but happy to talk at some point about like good places to start. ジャッジマンが少なの渋谷での虐殺行為を器物損損や建造物質侵入といった視点から起訴する可能性があるんだ。Okay. Judge Man, Sukuna's Shibuya's like brutal killing actions and the object damage and this is going to be separate. This and the object damage and the building invasion, shiten. I will say this is also really difficult language right now because it's a lot of legal stuff. Point of view, because it's that. Prosecution doing possibility exists. Okay. So Judgeman, there's a possibility that exists of doing prosecution from the point of view of these things, like the invasion of buildings and property damage over the brutal murdering events in Shibuya. その場合、死刑を勝ち取るのは難しい。In that case, as for winning a death penalty is difficult. Okay, so Judgeman focuses on property damage and building destruction. Judgeman は、俺がパチ打ったのも取り上げたやつだからな、全然あり得る。Okay, as for Judgeman, me, pachinko, pachi uta, that also like prosecuted thing because it's completely possible. Hey, no, thank you. Yeah, we made this a couple years ago after having read Demon Slayer many years ago. Okay, so Judgeman, me, I guess uta, like striking. Pachi is the pachinko parlor, right? So when Higuruma and Judgeman went against Itadori, it was about Itadori in the pachinko parlor. And so that's what he's bringing up. So something about utanomo, even striking that, it was that thing that he brought up, that Judgeman brought up. And so Itadori is basically agreeing and saying, like, it is completely possible that Judgeman might focus on something else other than the murders. Soda. So this is Higuruma continuing, I think. That's right. 逆に少なが十肉児のItadoriの軽い罪に問われることもある. Okay, that's right. Conversely, the Sukuna, light crimes of Itadori incarnated time, able to speak event also exists, or able to charge. So Judgeman is also, there's a possibility of also charging the light crimes while he was incarnated in Itadori. お前何してるの？バカなの? You, what are you doing? Are you an idiot? I'm not sure why this. Anyway, さらに問題なのは1000年前の罪だ. And all the more, as for a problem, it's the crime of 1,000 years ago. So basically, Higuruma is saying, like, there's also things that Sukuna could have done 1,000 years ago. いや、さすがにそれは事故なんでじゃ? Well, as one would expect, as for that, it's jiko, right? Isn't it? Jiko in this case is... Oh, statute of limitations. Okay, so Miwa is like basically saying like that's got to be statute of limitations, right? 1,000 years ago. Meiji 時代に近代法が投入された近代法には事故の概念がある. Okay, so Meiji era, in the Meiji era, recent law Dolnyu introduction being done. Okay, so in the Meiji era, modern laws introduction was done. As for to modern law, statute of limitations of Gainen exists. The general idea of a statute of limitation exists. Or the general idea of that exists. Okay, in those modern laws, I guess. Ja, jiko ka? Well then, is it jiko? Is it statute of limitations? 2010年に so in the year 2010, 死刑訴訟法が改正された殺人の施行はなくなった。In the year 2010, death something shoho. Okay, we gotta look this up. Too many things that I don't recognize. KG. Criminal matter. Criminal action code. Okay, criminal procedure code. This is KG, criminal, which is like police matters, and social whole. Social is like the action, and then this is the law. So this is the criminal procedure code. In 2010, 改正された殺人の事故はなくなった。Okay. The like murder being done, kaisei, revision. As for the statute of limitations, it became nothing. So a revision was done for murder, and the statute of limitations like went away in the criminal code in that year. Jiko janai te koto. So it's the event called statute of limitations not existing. Like there's no statute of limitations. いや、1985年以前の殺人には時効が成立している。No, or well, before the year 1985, as for to murderers, a statute of limitations is doing seiritsu. Is established. Okay, so there is a statute of limitations for murderers before 1985. Jiko-chan. So it is a statute of limitations. Daga, however, 平安時代の養老律令という法体系には時効がない。Okay, so however, the Heian period, so the Meiji era is 1868, right? That's pretty recent if we're considering 1,000 years. Heian would be the period where Sukuna was 1,000 years ago, right? Heian is 800 to 1200. So, however, the Heian period's Yoro Ritsuryo okay, this is another era. The Yoro. The Yoro Ritsu Ryo Administrative Civil Codes. As for to Hotaike, the statute did not exist. Hotaike. Hotai here is the appearance, the Hotaike ni wa Hotaike. Okay, I don't know what we're going to get with this. Let me check Jisho real quick. Jisho Hotai. Okay, hotai, we want carrying out the will of one's lord. Oh, okay. So as for to those carrying out the will of one's lord, a statute of limitation did not exist. So those who carried out the law, basically, the will of the daimyo, it wouldn't be the daimyo, but as for those that carried out the will of the ruler, that was the Yoro civil codes of the Heian era. The Jiko did not exist, the statute of limitations. Hona Jiko chigaoka? Come on now, the statute of limitations, is it not? Is it different? So Itadori's trying to figure out like what the deal is here. Maji de dochi nano? Seriously, like which one? So which is it? Wakaran. Eh? I don't know. Eh? Huh? So that's Itadori. Hannin ga 国外にいると自己の信仰が停止する。Okay. A criminal, when existing outside the country, as for the process of the statute of limitation, it does cancellation, or it does suspension. Yeah, like it's suspension of the advancement of the statute of limitations when a criminal is outside the country. Okay. 12個前の宿儺の扱い次第では as for depending on the treatment of sukuna before incarnation, 近代法でも事故が成立しないかもしれない。So dependent upon the treatment of sukuna before he was incarnated. That would be like in Itadori. Even the like recent law, the statute of limitations not coming into existence probably. So it probably won't apply. Ano yo o 海外と仮定されるとか? Okay, so what was kate, like the determination or treatment, assumption? Yeah. An assumption being done that overseas is like anoyo, and anoyo is like the afterlife. So, and toka, things like that. So he's asking Higuruma, like, you're assuming or supposing that it will be that overseas will be like the afterlife. So the Sukuna's time in the afterlife will be treated like overseas. Masani. That's correct. Yeah, surely. Okay, this is Judgment, but this is Higuruma talking, I think. Judgment wa ore no jutsu shiki ni sonawatteru shikigami da. So as for Judgment, Judgment is a shikigami, a summoned spirit, shikigami that does gathering together of my technique. Wait, sonawatteru. No, as for Judgment is a shikigami that furnishes my technique or is endowed with my technique, is among my technique. Ore ga arienaku mo nai to omotteru nara Judgment mo so nandaro. Me, arienaku mo nai. Oh boy. Okay. I guess like me, impossibility not existing thinking, if that's the case, like if I think it's not impossible, meaning like it could happen, this is a double negative. Me, if I'm thinking that it's not impossible, Judge Man also that way it is probably. Because Judge Man is like part of my technique. Oh, where are we here? Well past an hour. Sumari, what that means is, so now what's his name's coming in here? Sennenmai no tsumiya judgman no sairyo o kami suru to. What that means is crimes of 100 years and Judge Man's sairyo discretion if doing kami. Oh, seasoning flavor, but if taking into account. If we take into consideration the discretion of Judge Man and the crimes of 1,000 years ago, Sukuna no yozai wa hakari shirenai. As for the other crimes of Sukuna, they're without measurement, or measurement, they're unknowable, unable to measure, unable to know and measure. Okay, yeah. So if you take that into account, then like the other crimes, the other offenses of Sukuna are unknowable, unmeasurable. その中から死刑を視野に入ってる罪状をピンポイントで起訴できる確率はかなり低いってことだな。Okay, yeah. So from among that group, or from among that, meaning all those potential crimes, or all those unknowable crimes, pinpointing with a pinpoint, death sentence, Shiani, in the field of vision, entering like a crime charge with a pinpoint, like pinpointing a crime charge in and putting that into your field of view for the death sentence. The kiso, what's kiso again? As for the probability of being able to prosecute, it's that event, isn't it? So basically, from among the many possible crimes, the event is low. Oh, very low. It's the event that's very low. The probability of being able to prosecute and pinpointing, I guess, like, yeah, okay. From among all that, the death sentence with a pinpoint, the charge entering into the field of view. As for the probability of being able to prosecute, very small. It's that event. Yeah. Okay. So there's a much greater chance that any one of the things that they pick will be able to actually get death penalty. Okay. 有罪から没収まではまずいけるんだろう。それだけでありがたい。Okay. 有罪, like guilty. Yeah. Because guilty, as for up until confiscation, first able to go, right? As for which is that, it's welcome. Okay. So Hakari is saying it would just be welcome to get confiscation with a guilty verdict. だが、受式の補助の没収。報酬。Forfeiture, seizure. Okay, however, seizure of techniques, tokuki no tokusa no kage boujutsu to mitsuji ryōhō ni 適用されるのかわからん片方だった場合。Okay, so Higuruma is saying, however, so talking about confiscation. However, seizure of the technique, forfeiture of the technique, I guess like the 10 shadows, 10 types of shadow, whatever, and the Hell's Kitchen, whatever his domain is. Both sides. Tekio. Applying, being done, question mark. So does it apply to both sides, like both of those things? I don't know. One side, if it was case, if it only applies to one, ... Okay, so in other words, Bolshu, the confiscation seizure, might not apply to both sides of the 10 techniques that he gets from Fushiguro and the Mitsushi, whatever the domain. Okay. いや、それでもめちゃくちゃ助けるけど、well, even that, crazily able to help. Like, even that would help a lot. Help crazy amounts. あるかも exists maybe. 確実に少なを死刑にする方法. Okay, Itadori is offering something. Exists maybe. A method. He's going to get to a method. There might be a way. There might be a method to seriously, honestly, certainly do death penalty for Sukuna. Okay, so Itadori has a way. And of course, we don't hear that way. We're now finally out of the flashback. Presumably there was a way. These are the crows flying along. Meimei's crows. There's Sukuna. Buddy. There's Sukuna frying the crows. Gojo-kun, Kenjaku Sukuna, yappari kono level no renju ni wa otosare chao na? Okay. So, as one would expect, Sukuna, Kenjaku, Gojo, this level of group, as for with a group of this level, like being taken down, I guess, meaning her crows, being dropped, being made to fall. Oh, okay, so this is her on top of this building, I guess, watching. でも、みんな直撃を避けてるってことは、当たればそれなりなのかな? Okay, but everyone, as for the event called avoiding a direct hit, if able to strike, that becoming, I wonder, will it become that way? I wonder. If succeed, okay, so as for the event called avoiding a direct hit, if it becomes that way, I wonder if it strike. I guess, like, will that happen if it strikes? Ki wa 反らせた後は頼むよ、ヒグルマくん. Okay. As for the spirit, as for the intent, it 反らせた. I guess this is turned away. Oh, okay. As for the spirit, turned away. I guess that's like attention. Ki o so yeah, to distract. So distracted. So she did that to distract Sukuna. As for the rest, it's up to you. I leave it to you, Higuruma-kun. Okay, so then that's Higuruma dropping the gavel. Okay. Doko. There's Itarori. Pacha papa. Okay, punching. Zuff. Goon. Grab. Gui. Bo. Okay. Do. All right, blocking. Gura. Ima wa. As for right now, like what just happened? Itarori. Kiri. Okay, so something like vibrating. So like what? As for right now, like what just happened? Itarori. Yari naoshita. Yari naoshita. Yari naos is to do something over. And past tense, on yari naoshida. It's a do-over. Yari naosu. To do again. Literally like to do and fix, but yari. Yeah. Okay, so that's Higuruma saying that. And then we get Ryoiki Tenkai Chubukushishi. And then so domain unfolding, domain expansion, and Chubuku. Puku. No? Okay, this is like prostrate and something death. We probably looked at this the first time. All right. Okay, that is death penalty. Death penalty, this is like prostration. And then we get gift, boon, fruit, tamamono. And then like the fruit of death, I guess. Okay, well, there we go. And still going. Gotcha. Got 2 more pages of talking to get through. So close. Okay, so I guess this is like the courtroom starting to build up and rise up around. Oh, now we're back to the flashback. Sanjinda. It's or Sanshinda. It's a third time, a third trial. Yeah. Shin here is like a third trial, or a 3 trial. So we're back in the flashback. We're getting the completion of Itadori's idea. あの時の俺とヒグルマの裁判をSukunaを Makikonde yarinaosu. That times me and Higuruma's trial redo wrapping in Sukuna. So he's saying, let's redo the trial that you and I did, but involving Sukuna. And he means the second trial, which was the Shibuya. Kore nara, if it's this thing, Shibuya no tairyo satsujin de Sukuna o kiso dekiru. If it's this, we do this, then Shibuya's large amount of murders, with that able to prosecute Sukuna. Okay. Okay, I need to see. Is that fuku or puku? It's buku. Chubuku. Chubuku shishi wa isshin, nishin, sanshin no zaijou ga randamu da. Okay. As for his technique, 1 trial, 2 trials, 3 trials, crimes is random. Okay. Ja madeka? Dameka? Oh, well then, is that no good? Iya, no, well, sudeni hanketsu ga detteru tsumi o ore kara saishin seichou sureba. Okay, no. Already judgment coming out crime from me, a retrial if due. So a saishin is like to trial again and see. Yeah, a revision, a retrial, and then seikyu. I guess that's like request. Yeah, demand. If a retrial demand from me of a crime that came out of a decision already, kyodo hikoku nin toshite sukuna o kuwae onaji zaijou de saiban o tsuzukeru koto wa fukano janai. Okay. Like, same hikoku nin. Mutual defendant, or same defendant with that, including Sukuna, like increasing with Sukuna, with the same crime. As for the event of being able to continue the trial, impossible. I guess, isn't it? Or it isn't impossible. It isn't impossible, meaning it might be possible. It might be possible as to the event of continuing the crime, the trial, with the same charges, including Sukuna. Okay. Naze nara? Why is that? Ore ni merito ga nai. As for to me, merit does not exist. So there's no benefit to me, because there's no benefit to me. Akumade, in the worst case, jutsushiki taisho wa itadori dakara na. In the worst case, as for the technique target, because it's itadori. Yeah, okay, so he's targeting itadori when he uses his technique. Shippai shita toshitemo, and even if do failure, zaijou o itadori ni juniku shiteru aida shibaru koto ga dekiru. Even if it does failure, it's possible. The event of restricting, squeezing, binding, limiting to the period of doing flesh possession, incarnation in itadori of the charged crimes. Okay, fine, whatever. That's your rationalization about why this is going to work. So here we go. Here's Judge Man. Itadori yuji wa 20 2018年10月31日、渋谷にて大量殺人を犯した疑いがある。Okay, utagai is suspicion. So, as for Itadori, on this date, 2018, 31 October, in Shibuya, a suspicion exists of the committing of a large amount of murders. Yosh! All right! Okay, so they've got this like three-way trial going on, apparently. Kare wa koroshite inai. As for him not killing. So Higuruma starts with, in response to Judge Man, this is what Itadori is suspected with. So as for him, Itadori not killing. Nishinde no jibaku wa omoi sekinin kan ni karare deta kyogi no mono da. In the second trial, self-confession. As for the self-confession, a jibaku. Oh, sorry, jihaku, which is still self-confession. As for this confession in the second trial, which was Itadori, a heavy feeling of responsibility, like, I guess, like coming out, kyogi no mono da. Oh, a falsehood, an untruth that was like trampled out. Yeah, I guess that was driven out. Yeah, okay. So remember, in the second trial, Itadori confessed, he said he did it, those murders in Shibuya. And all that craziness happened then after that. But so Higuruma is saying, as for his confession, Itadori's confession in the second trial, it was a thing of falsehood. It was a lie, a deception that was driven out due to his heavy responsibility feeling. Shin Hannin wa, as for the real villain, as for the real criminal, the real committer, ... Okay, there we go. Whew. This might have been the longest chapter ever. So we made it. That was 244. We'll continue next time with 245. We'll see where we go. Looks like we'll start back with these guys. This next chapter is the last chapter of this volume. We got a little special thing there. We'll look at any art and we'll do a preview of 28, but that will be next time.